You're listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody.
Flush Your Fat for Good. And my name is Jackie Paget Baird.
And I'm Dr. Vicky Arcady.
And we are here to tell you all about how to get lean and healthy for life. And that's why we call it Flush Your Fat for Good. It's for good, like good riddance, and also for the good of your health, the good of your life, the good of good of your clothes, the good of your wardrobe. No, it's really important that you understand that this is not a diet. This is a lifestyle for a lifetime. And today we're excited to just share a lot of what this show's all about is to teach you guys what Flush Your Fat's all about. But we want to make sure that you learn something each time that we do this show. And that's because we like to, even on our Facebook page, we have flushyourfat4good.com, flushyourfat4good.com. You can go there, and just on the home page, you can scroll down to the bottom, and what you'll see is the hub of knowledge. Because what we like to do is teach people to understand how to be their own guru. We are not your gurus, we are your guides, but we have a lifestyle for a lifetime that'll change your life, that'll help you to be lean and healthy, that'll stop your cravings for sugars and starches, that'll help you to think deeper, think smarter, sleep deeper, to have these happier moods, to have better digestion, absorption, and elimination, and most importantly, safe, rapid fat loss. Now, we've got the holidays coming up, and when we decided to do 2 trial groups, the first trial group we wanted to do for sure started in October, because what happens in October?
Halloween.
Ooh.
Boo.
Yeah, and who doesn't like to sit behind the door on Halloween and eat the Butterfingers, okay? So, it's...
You didn't do that.
Yeah, right.
She had a witch costume on for years, so nobody could see it.
30
was really
years.
her.
30 years I was a witch, and my kids never knew that I wasn't. So the thing is, when you go through the holidays, the first thing is a mindset. You know, we talk a lot about paradigm shifts. When most people think the holidays are coming. Oh boy, what I really want to know about is the pumpkin pie, the apple pie, the pecan pie, the cookies. You know, we're going to bake. The problem is that people are setting themselves up in the mindset to be able to eat all through the holidays. And they say, well, I'm just not going to eat that much, or I'm not going to have a little bit of, I'll just have a little cookie here and there. Yeah, you know what happens? Then it gets to the point where it's 1 cookie, 3 cookies, and then it's you stuff yourself at Thanksgiving.
There's no rule book for it. There's no instructions on how you're supposed to be eating.
No, open your mouth and shove it in.
You just guess the whole time. I'll eat cookies for breakfast, and I won't eat lunch, and then I'll stuff myself for Thanksgiving.
I think it was Jennifer. If you're watching, Jennifer, we know you had pie for breakfast once.
Yep.
But what I'm trying to say is you can't have just a little sugar or a little starch or a little cookie or a little pie for the holidays, because it gets out of control, because sugar is addicting. And when you eat your starches, which most of the time during the holidays it's your real horrible starches, they convert into sugar, so now you're a complete sugarholic. And those people that are sugarholics, you're just taking in more drugs, because sugar is like cocaine on the brain. To be able to get through the holidays and to lose 25 to 30 pounds at this point right now is totally possible. Not caring if you have a cookie, cake, brownies, ice cream, whatever, just learning how to eat properly If you did the Flush Your Fat for Good way, you would be amazed, and you would lose your cravings in 72 hours. You would be feeling great. Your digestion would start improving greatly. And
you don't feel deprived
no
at all, and you don't have cravings.
So we want you to go to flushyourfatforgood.com. You can check out our workbook. You can do all kinds of things to see what we're all about. And we're going to talk a little bit more today about what the programs.
A little bit more.
That's because I'm with an Italian, which is.
I used to think I was Italian, but
did,
I'm Sardinian and Greek.
What did you? Oh, my
heritage.
Yeah, myheritage.com.
The DNA thing.
For years, decades, she's saying, I'm Italian.
I had
Italian.
no idea that I wasn't.
Now she's not, so I can't say that anymore.
It's okay.
But anyway.
I'm still having fun.
She still makes pasta falu.
Vazul.
So what we want to do is go to our next segment right now with Dr. Vicki, who is a researcher. I explain this every time, but it's really important to know that when she goes to understand what's happening with the subject matter, she really researches it. And this time we wanted to share with you guys the dangers of sugars. Now, some people go, oh, I don't do sugar, I do a little stevia. Or I don't do sugar, I do erythritol. Or I don't do sugar, I just do a little honey. This segment is, did you know that? And Dr. Vicki's going to share what you need to know.
Before I do that, I want to just get a pencil out and write down this phone number if you want to call in, probably on the half hour, in 20 minutes or so. 818-570-5085. 818-570-5085.
And before you even start, I want to thank everybody for your thoughts and prayers for what we all had to go through with the fire. And, we just found out there's some more fire coming our way. Also, we had to pack twice and get ready to evacuate, and our neighbors and a lot of our neighborhoods next to us lost all their homes and things like that. So you guys were so kind to us on Facebook. We really appreciate it. And we're really praying for everybody still to this day.
And we want to thank the first responders and the firemen. I mean, they're going nonstop. They don't sleep. They sleep in the street.
Did you see that picture?
Minutes.
It was the flames of fire and one fireman right in front of all the flames. Yeah. And I can't remember who said it, but it said, while you're sleeping tonight, he's not.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah. Just, anyway, that was a moment I wanted to take. I didn't want to forget that because you guys have been so kind in praying for us. So,
we wanted to talk today about sugar.
Yeah.
And our buddies in our Flush Your Fat for Good buddies private Facebook room, we talk a lot about this subject, which is sugar. And sugar is, I don't really see any benefit to eating sugar. There's no nutritional nutritional benefit to it.
You know what they're going? Are you kidding me?
I mean, the one response we hear from our buddies or people that really want to get the weight off or the fat off, and they know they have to do something for their health, they feel lousy, is they say, I don't think I can give up sugar.
Yeah.
And sugar is addicting. But more than that, it causes inflammation. It's a fact. It makes you fat. Sugar goes to fat, period. Right. It makes a fatty liver. We talked about that, remember? Non-alcoholic fatty liver and non-alcoholic steatorrheic.
Say that 3 times.
Yeah.
Steatohepatitis.
Hepatitis.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, tongue twister. But sugar, there's really no benefit to eating sugar. There's no nutrition in it, and it causes your insulin to spike. And then it falls, and then you're tired. I mean, especially kids. The teachers in schools wonder why their kids are lying on their desktops after about an hour of starting class, is because they had Pop-Tarts for breakfast, or pancakes or something like that, and or French toast, something with sugar in it, and their blood sugar drops. It goes up like this, up and down when you eat sugar. I wanted to let you know that the tongue has taste buds. There's 4 of them: bitter, sweet, sour, and salty. And when the tongue gets the message that there's something sweet there, it's a neurological receptor that goes to the brain and triggers the brain to let the brain know that there is sugar in the mouth. Okay? So when that happens, all kinds of things happen, and especially the opiate receptors that are triggered in opiates, like heroin, are also triggered with sugar addiction. There's been studies with that. We know that as a fact now. It also happens with cow dairy, which we do not recommend on Flesh Your Fat for Good. But I wanted to tell you that although you may think, or the label may say, that there's no sugar added, is that the,
Yeah.
if there's no sugar added on the labels, we teach our people to read labels. You have to read labels, because there are, I have an article here, there's 56 different names for sweeteners, sugars. 56, and this is not artificial. This is 56 different names for sugar, and many of the manufacturers will combine 2 different sugars that you may not recognize their names to increase the taste, and sometimes as a preservative, and it's going to trigger your sugar addiction. Or
Yeah, and when you have no sugar added, that means by law they already put 50% sugar in.
Right.
You have to do unsweetened. Otherwise, you're getting sugar, and by law they can put it in as long as if it's over 50%, then they have to put what the sugar is.
So on average, Americans eat about 15 teaspoons of added sugar each day.
Oh, what?
15 teaspoons. I remember when I was on the Pierce College tennis team, and our coach McMillan, she used to say to us, kids, the girls would come out with Cokes, and she goes, "That's 15 tablespoons or teaspoons of sugar in there, in that Coke." Mm-hmm. She was very aware of that with us because it dehydrates you. Sugar also dehydrates you. And, many of the sport drinks have sugar in it. And the manufacturers,
all of them,
they disguise the names so that it's very difficult to determine how much is in there. So I want to just give you some, let me see here. Sucrose is the most common type of sugar. That's table sugar.
Yeah.
And the real killer, which came out in the 20s, Dr. Lee, who developed Standard Process, he was a dentist, and Standard Process Labs is a food-sourced supplement company that is used by physicians that I've been using my whole career. But he mentioned in his old lectures and tapes that in the 20s they were beginning to release high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah.
High fructose corn syrup, if you look on the labels, it is in everything. And not only that it spikes your insulin, it makes fat. It's in all the soft drinks. And today, most of the corn grown is GMO, genetically modified. So you cannot ever have high fructose corn syrup, you or your children. Yeah. It's just a killer. We just don't know what's going to happen with that. So if you see high fructose corn syrup, and they have different codes for it now. There are several different types. High fructose corn syrup 55, HFCS, which is the manufacturing name, 90, which contains 90% fructose. But the fructose is not safe either because it's sucrose and glucose.
So they don't even put high fructose corn syrup.
No, they're
going to put
HFCS.
Oh, you get that? So if you see HFCS,
instead of changing the name to protect the innocent, this is changing the name to protect the guilty. Then you have agave nectar. That was the big craze.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Agave nectar. Okay, everybody
organic.
goes. Yeah, everybody says, "Oh, that's good." Well, if you look closely at some of them, it's HFCS, high fructose corn syrup, that's flavored or with brown sugar or something to make it look brown. So we have to be very careful.
Or something to make it look brown.
It's just, it's from the agave plant, but many of them are not for real.
No, but you can. Do you guys understand what's happening here? They're trying to fool us all the time.
And why?
Because it sells.
It's a conspiracy.
And it becomes addictive.
And it's a conspiracy too, to get us addicted. And it's the sickness industry.
Right.
We won't get into that, but
next show.
But here, I'm going to just name off some sugars that you might see.
Okay.
Beet sugar, brown sugar, buttered syrup, cane juice crystals, cane sugar, caramel, carob syrup, castor sugar, confectioner's sugar, date sugar, evaporated cane juice. We've seen that a lot, haven't we? Florida crystals, fruit juice concentrate. That could be disguised as a sugar, not a
right. You
not
think
really
it's just fruit juice? It's healthy for you.
Golden sugar, golden syrup, icing sugar, invert sugar, molasses. Well, molasses is there's good and bad molasses.
If it's blackstrap molasses and molasses. If it's grade A, it's just pure sugar. If it's grade B, it's less refined, and if it's grade C, it's really you have part of the tree with it.
So corn syrup, barley malt, dextrose, ethyl maltol. Never saw that one. But see, they give you these names, but they combine them, so you can never figure out how much sugar is in anything. A packaged. That's the key right there. Packaged foods. Anything packaged, crackers, cookies, anything packed. Even in the frozen food section, they put sugar in there to preserve it. Sugar is a preservative also. Okay, so that is that. Now the other thing is, if you had raw cane, a piece of raw cane, the glycemic index, I think of that, is 45, which is low. And you will not get an insulin response.
That's the plant.
It's the raw. If you went out and cut the cane and chewed on it, it's actually good for your teeth because there's glyconutrients in there.
But they burn those down in Hawaii.
They don't do. Yeah,
they don't do that anymore, do they?
No.
And they don't do the pineapples either.
Okay, so then they were getting, the manufacturers were getting guff from everybody. Oh, there's too much sugar, which there still is. They just disguise the names and add more than one, so we can't figure out how much sugar's in there. If you look at, here's the thing. When in doubt, lay out. If you don't know what it is and you can't figure out what it is, don't get it. Look at the label, put it down. Now, let's get into artificial sweeteners. The manufacturers were pressured to do something about the sugar and the insulin and the diabetes and this and that. So I'm going to name off a few of the artificial sweeteners. Ace-sulfame potassium, which is otherwise known as Sweet One or Sunnet. Aspartame, we know that one. NutraSweet and Equal. There's another one, Neotame. If you see that, that's artificial. Saccharin, which is sweet and low. Sweet Twin, Sugar Twin. Sucralose, which is Splenda. Stevia ribaldoside. So they tweaked the stevia, which is a plant, and that is a sweet leaf, sun crystals, Steviva, Truvia, and Pure Via. These are names they're all artificial sweeteners. Now, when the artificial sweetener, now you have to understand it's very concentrated sweetness. When that hits your tongue, it still goes to the same place in the brain.
Right.
Because it's hitting the taste bud, the sweet taste bud.
Well, when you see people drinking Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, this is the problem.
Oh, yeah.
You got that?
Yeah. So when I had a patient, I don't know if you remember her. She had to be rushed to the emergency room because she was drinking a 6-pack of Diet Coke every day, and which had aspartame in it, and she ended up with pancreatitis. And she had to go to the emergency room, and it was all because she was eating artificial sugar. But there's been a couple studies done. One of them was by the journal Molecules that determined that these approved FDA sweeteners are proven toxic to the human digestion. So all of those that I just read are toxic. And you know where you find a lot of these is in the sport drinks. I went to get for a friend a sport drink because it had electrolytes in it, and I had no other source. It was in the middle of the night and no Pedialyte, nothing like that. And I thought I'll just get a sport drink. I couldn't do it. There was aspartame in there, and we know about aspartame. And they put us down 20 years ago about it, and said, we said, oh, it causes brain tumors.
Multiple
sclerosis,
yeah.
Malignancies.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? This study in Molecules, that's what they found out, that it causes all those things, and it's toxic in the gut. So there are common food additives, and the 0 calorie drinks that you see, chances are very good that's what's in there, and it proves toxic to the digestive gut microbes. I'm going to be putting these on the website, but I also posted them in the room.
Yeah, in our Facebook.
Flush Your Fat for Good.
We'll talk to you about that in a little bit.
Room. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but they're very common additives. So even in supplements, particularly supplements, you've got to be careful, because you'll see these sweeteners, and you'll see these artificial sweeteners in a lot of...
Because everybody thinks you have to make something taste sweet for people to want to take.
Right.
And
so
they're creating addictions.
Sucralose is it's a potential carcinogen, as is aspartame, and sucralose in particular, they process it with chlorine.
Right.
Sucrose and chlorine. Chlorine is toxic. We're not supposed to be eating chlorine.
No. In fact, I think it's under chemical warfare they use it.
And it has potential negative effects on our microbial community in our gut. And that is our center for our immune system. You destroy that and you make things toxic in there, you're going to set yourself up for all kinds of diseases. So there's also another article that was written in Neuroscience News that talks about it, how it affects the gut bacteria. But if God made it, eat it. This is her quote. Mm-hmm. If man made it, read it. If you don't know where it comes from, can't pronounce it, you can't do any of that, just put it down.
And certainly don't put it into your children's mouths. The problem is we're creating addicts. And, sugar is like cocaine on the brain. It hits the same receptor sites. And we call them buddies in our Flush Your Fat for Good. We want y'all to go to our Facebook page. It's private, Flush Your Fat for Good Buddies, and request to be a member. And you have to answer a few little questions, and bada bing, bada bing. You guys can join in and see what's going on. But that's very valuable information, because Dr. Vicki was just talking about the regular sugars, the artificial sugars, with all the different kinds of names. You didn't go over this, but I know you have, there's erythritol, mannitol.
Those are probably, there's 56 different names.
Yeah, and they're made with alcohol, and they have an alcohol kind of connection here. But the thing is, if sugar hits artificial sugar, regular sugar, complex combinations of sugars, whatever, anything that's sweet is going to hit your brain, hit your tongue, and then it's going to trigger your brain.
Right.
Your brain is immediately going to react. So when you see people drinking Diet Pepsis, they're not only harming their health tremendously, because that one of those you said was linked to cancer, and it's the microbial system. Right?
Those 6 artificial that I talked about, mm-hmm. They are toxic to the gut environment, the microbes.
So if you're your gut is
creating
70.
toxins. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah,
They're chemicals.
70% of your 70 to 80% of your immune system's in your gut.
Correct.
And you're going to throw that in. So all you're doing, you might as well get a 45, you know? So the thing is, when you see people that are drinking Diet Pepsi, Diet Coke, whatever, or they think that they've got something that's healthy for them, but it has a sweet taste, maltodextrin, erythritol, mannitol, all of these things. Now you might be saying, oh, just in moderation or just a little. Well, Flush Your Fat for Good, we have phase 1, phase 2. So in phase 1, it's all about rapid, safe fat loss. Mm-hmm. We don't want anything to touch your tongue that has something sweet in it, because we want to stop the triggers in your brain, because that's immediately going to put fat on you. Fat doesn't put fat on you. Sugar does put fat on you.
Big
End
league.
of story. Whether it's artificial or not.
Not to mention the inflammation. I mean,
Right.
Cholesterol and cardiovascular disease is mainly caused by inflammation, and the plaquing is caused from sugar.
There you go. So
A big cause, not the only cause, but
with
one of the big
with our book, we have a workbook, and we have actually a book that's a 300-page book.
That will be
it's
released,
published and
yeah,
released, and we're
soon.
going to be talking
We'll let
about
you know.
it. Yeah, but we have a workbook on Flush Your Fat for Good, and this is where you learn to feed yourself appropriately for safe, rapid fat loss, for better digestion, absorption, and elimination, to not crave. So when we first started out, you know, we're going to talk to you about going through the holidays. You don't overeat, you don't undereat. You eat as much as you want, because this lifestyle trains the brain. You know when to stop, and you know what, I just ate a bowl of that, I really like it, I want another bowl. Okay, go eat another bowl.
for it.
Because it's only going to help you to be lean and healthy for good, period. But if there's any sugar, you're going to throw everything off. You're going to throw your gut off. You're going to put fat on you. You're going to, if you've ever read the book Sugar Blues, sugar takes you up and brings you down. And it's going to instigate addiction. I've worked with a lot of heroin addicts and meth addicts and things like this. And through nutrition, it's so irritating, because if they get arrested because they're caught with their drugs, or they went out stealing, because that's what drug addicts do, then they're put into jail. And the jailers, they are, in order to help them while they're kicking, it's called kicking, getting off their drug, they give them candy bars, because it's the same thing that's going to hit their receptor sites. And
Do you know why it's called kicking? Did you know that?
because it's like kicking your ass. It
No.
feels
Did you
what?
know that it's called kicking because you're kicking off the opiate receptors? You're kicking them off.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I saw it on a jail show.
I like ghost
Or
shows. She likes jail shows. You're learning a lot
It
about
was
us
a
right
crime
now.
show, I think. And they
Yeah,
said
right.
the reason why it's called kicking is you're kicking off the opiate receptors one at a time.
Wow.
And that's what you do when you get off sugar. You're going to be kicking off those opiate receptors.
Yeah, well, let me tell you something. If you are worried about that, if you've experienced headaches and you're tired and you don't feel good because you're so toxic from the sugars you've been eating, with Flush Your Fat for Good on phase 1, you give it 72 hours. And by the 4th day, you feel amazing. You can't believe it. By the 2nd week, you can go into C's Candy and care less. Trust me.
Yeah, and walk out because it makes you sick.
You walk out, you don't walk out with anything, though.
You smell the corn
and
syrup.
I know better than anybody, because I was addicted to sugar. I was addicted to starch. And it's the death of you completely. You're pushing yourself into so many diseases, and you know, diabetes, and cancer lives on sugar. But this is about losing fat rapidly over the holidays. You can enjoy all of the foods over the holidays, all of them, if you eat properly in the way the workbook says to do so.
And we do our food combining,
Yeah,
and that saves
you
you. Before we go on, I want to encourage anyone to call in with questions because we do provide support and accountability
Right.
on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Mhm.
So the number is 818-570-5085. 818-570-5085. Please call in.
5085.
And if you can't get an answer, call back.
Right.
Because there's no queue, so I
or
have to
working the phones.
Yeah.
So the last thing, or not the last thing, but one of the most important things
Yeah.
I want to share with you guys is that you want your fat off like yesterday. And you
Day
could
before yesterday.
Yeah. Well,
For most people.
a lot of people think, no, I'm just going to go through the holidays, eat myself into oblivion, and then January 1st, I'm going to make my New Year's resolution.
Right.
I think we all know how that goes because we make that New Year's resolution, and that's January 1st. January 1st, you spend that night eating the leftovers from the holidays.
And all the sweets you can.
Right.
And
Because
the
you think
mixed
you're going to
drinks
throw
and-
them out, right? Oh, I'm just going to eat there's just 2 more slivers of pie. I'm going to eat those.
Girls
and then,
do that. They eat it until it's gone.
or who ate the last Christmas cookie, or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'll just eat this. Come on, there's only 2 more. Just finish it for me.
Nobody has to talk me into it. I'll just, it's there, it's by itself. That would be a waste. But I don't think that way anymore because you want to honor the body that God gave you, number one, and number two, how fast you want that fat off. Because my question is, how old do you want to be when you take your last breath? And if you don't get your fat off, 20 pounds over fat is linked to, 23 health conditions, probably more.
A lot.
And, we're going into 2019.
Let me just say that I picked up a journal today that I was looking at, and inside, it was actually a health magazine, but they said that studies show that starting now with the holidays coming up is the most common way for people to put on cumulative weight. Cumulative weight.
That's a nice way of saying you're going to get fat
In
as
other
hell.
words, the weight creeps up and it becomes cumulative, and you take that weight from the holidays, and then the next holiday you accumulate more.
Oh, you pile it on.
It's cumulative.
Oh.
It's called. They said studies have shown that during the holidays is the most common way to put on cumulative weight.
Cumulative.
Cumulative.
Say it all together. Cumulative.
That's like a stone gathering moss. Only this is a body.
This stone's going to
gathering
kill you.
fat.
So
It's not
and-
funny.
No.
It really is not
No,
funny.
it is not. But you start adding on visceral fat. And the visceral
good.
fat is what's going to kill you.
Not good.
Because it goes around your heart, goes around your organs. It'll
I
suffocate
actually
you.
saw an autopsy show that the guy was 29 years old. He was having a picnic with his family. He had a little chub on him. He was like 20 pounds over, and he dropped dead. And when Dr. G did the autopsy, she said that it was caused by his heart and lungs being strangled by his visceral fat.
Right.
And you couldn't even tell that he had that much fat on him. It was
Talk
all
about
under
the-
the skin, around the organs.
Yeah, talk about the silent killer. So, if you start tomorrow, you can download the workbook. It's digital, and or you can get the hard cover.
Order the hard copy.
Yeah, it'll get right to you. And you notice that we're drinking. This is called Cran Flush. This is part of the lifestyle.
Don't mind if I do.
And this is diluted cranberry juice, and we fill the Voss bottles all the way up to water, to the top of the S with water, and then we add unsweetened, not from concentrate, cranberry juice. These clean to flush out all the things that you have accumulated within your fat,
Cumulative.
because the toxins harbor in your fat cells, and when you start losing fat rapidly, your fat cells open up like an onion, and all the toxins start coming out. They're going to filter through your liver, and a congested liver is going to give you constipation and bowel problems. We've got it all worked out to where this whole lifestyle for a lifetime, within a week to 2 weeks, all the way through Thanksgiving, through Christmas, Hanukkah, parties, events, and right up to January 1st, you guys could really be on a great start. Now, we work with, we call them Power 100 heroes. And because we like to work with the situation called globesity. Obesity that has gone global. It's no longer just in one nation.
Correct.
I mean, Mexico used to be the number one in
Country.
obesity.
Mm-hmm.
America now is number one in obesity.
United States of America.
That's just hard to fathom. Mexico is number one for type 2 diabetes, for the leading cause of death. In America, it's the number 2 cause of death. This is ridiculous.
And it's all diet related.
It's
most
all
of the
diet
time.
related.
Unless it's type 1.
Well, type 1's from the Coxsackie virus. That's different. Type 2 is from your diet, and it's usually adult onset.
Yes.
So, but we've seen kids, you know, they're getting it now, type 2.
And you know, in the medical textbooks, it told me when more than 30 years ago when I went, you know, and studied, that if you can get the patient to lose the fat, lose the weight, chances are good their type 2 diabetes will reverse.
And that's what we see. So when you
Yes.
go to fleshyourfatforgood.com, go to our before and afters. This is a lot of fun, and it'll amaze you if you decide you want to take the challenge and change your life. This is not a 30, 60, 90-day diet, you know. As I always say, the first 3 letters in the word diet is die. And you feel like you're dying because you can't stand a diet. You're going to sit there and look at everything on the table and, oh, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have that. It doesn't matter if you're on flesh or fat, because on phase 1, you can have a ton of everything except for the things that are going to instigate an insulin response.
Most people say, do I have to eat again? I don't feel like eating. Do I have to eat again? Yes, you have to eat again, but you don't overeat and you don't undereat. And, you know, Flesh Your Fat for Good is different from anything out there because, number 1, we have 8 pillars. We have a blueprint. We have 8 pillars, and we give you, you know, blow by blow what you're supposed to be doing for rapid fat loss. And then when you're happy with where you are with your fat loss and how you're feeling and your health is improved, you go into phase 2. So phase 1 is rapid fat loss. Phase 2 is for the rest of your life. And if you should say you go on a vacation or something and you just say, I'm going to, you know, for this weekend, I'm just going to eat some things that I wouldn't normally eat on phase 2. You know, I'm just going to have more desserts and this and that, which you'll find out is not going to be a good idea.
Yeah.
But if you come back and you're, you know, a couple pounds heavier, you just know to get right back in the saddle into phase 1 and get right back into boot camp.
The way, yeah, that's the beauty.
That's the beauty of it.
You're in control of your life.
Yes.
And you know exactly what to
That's
do.
right.
And we have so many people that they call it freeing. I'm free. First of all, their grocery bill is way down. We have all these stapled recipes that you guys wind up making. Jackie's chicken salad, Jackie's turkey soup. I have got a egg muffin to die for.
Which you can rent on Flesh Your Fat for the day.
Or we have VIP level that you get all of the 23 videos, you get the over 100 audios, you get the recipes. There's all kinds of things on that website. Check it out. But the bottom line is what we're trying to encourage you guys to do today is to make a commitment. You know, and it's like if you're going to talk about discipline is give yourself a command and follow it.
Right.
Do you want to lose the fat? Do you think the holidays are going to hang you up? They don't have to. This is so easy to do and it's fun. And when you get into the private Facebook page, it's a culture of caring. It's an unbelievable community where everybody is cheering you on, answering questions. We have over 100 coaches. And if you have any questions, lay it down, you know. Join the Facebook page. After you answer the questions, you'll be invited in. And then, you know, you just announce yourself in the Facebook room. Hi, this is Judy. I just joined. I'm going to try to get this weight off before January 1st.
And we encourage you to get the workbook. You know, get started in the proper way. Just dive in and start. You don't have to have, supplements, and you don't have to have everything you need. You can start today. You can start tonight if you wanted to.
Right.
You could start now.
But speaking of the supplements, in our workbook, we have recommended supplements because you want to support your immune system, your defense system, your endocrine system, your autonomic nervous system, your digestive system. We want some antioxidants taking place because when you lose the fat, the toxins are released, as I said, and you don't want those toxins to wreak havoc. So we have it all figured out.
Yeah.
But we also have on the website, we've got starter kit number 1 and starter kit number 2. And on starter kit number 1, you get the workbook. And it's a great workbook. I mean, there's all kinds of things in this workbook that you love, and it's a day at a glance plus recipes, and it tells you what to do. It's not difficult, it's just different, this style of eating, but you'll find, you'll be amazed at within a couple of days how much lighter you feel, how your clothes start to feel looser, that you are feeling, not so bloated and gassy. With that starter kit number 1, you get the shopping list, which is really cool.
She loves the shopping.
I love the shopping list.
Because you put it on your fridge.
Because you know why?
I just check it off.
I go shopping all the time, and sometimes I go shopping for just 1 or 2 items.
Yeah, because you know why? We eat fresh.
Right. But I come out with about 100, and the 2 that I went for, I forgot.
So she likes. You like
drives me crazy. But this is a great.
That's a cool item.
No, I love this.
That's a very cool item.
This is very good. And then you have a chart here, which you can put up because we teach you something that was taught in 1850 that nobody adopted properly, and that's why everybody's on.
Except the smart people.
Right. But everybody's on Pepsid and Rolaids and Mylanta. If you do our food combining chart, you're going to be amazed. And then we
By the way, have you ever gone down that aisle?
Which,
Peps.
oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like 2 aisles.
It's brutal.
It's 2 aisles on in the drugstore, CVS or Rite Aid. I mean, it's serious.
It's a business.
No. It's a problem. It's no digestion, no absorption, and no elimination. Then you go down the constipation aisle.
Oh, my God.
So you have the heartburn, gastric reflux, indigestion, 2 aisles.
Right.
And then there's another aisle for constipation, and then there's another aisle for hemorrhoids, for straining.
So if you're looking for a new business, anyway, starter kit number 1 has all the charts and GLA, CLA. Now, we recommend in the workbook other products recommended to assist in your rapid fat loss. But you can buy these right on the website, and GLA is to stimulate the white fat to burn, or the brown fat to burn the white fat. That's amazing, and it makes your skin glow. And it also triggers serotonin. So it gives you kind of a calming feeling. If obviously I'm not very calm right now because my bottle is empty.
Which one is that? CLA?
GLA.
GLA is awesome.
Yeah. CLA.
It's good for your skin.
Yeah.
For skin afflictions.
Eczema.
It makes your skin moist, and it brings calcium to the skin so that you get the skin diseases and things will
conditions.
be aided.
The skin conditions.
Skin conditions.
Yeah, that are accumulative.
It does not treat, cure, or ameliorate
any disease.
But it does help your skin.
Right. CLA.
And inflammation. Serious.
Right.
Okay,
anything
we have 3
else
minutes.
You wanted to
No.
Conjugated
I wish someone would have called us tonight.
That's okay. We're going to call them next time. Conjugated linoleic acid. This is really great for the tummy fat, the belly fat.
We have a lot of people that, got over serious sugar addiction. I mean, serious.
Yeah. And this prevents the enlargement of your fat cells, breaks it up, and also assists in building your lean muscle mass.
By the way, we had to search for these. That's why we labeled our own, because we couldn't find the ones that we wanted that were safe to take and also enough milligrams and the source. They had to be sourced in a certain way, so
Yeah.
we knew they were good.
On the website, you can enjoy all of this information. We have a coaching course that is 7 hours.
It's
7 modules.
Yeah, and it's like if you're intrigued, and you get the workbook and you start it and you figure out, oh, well, this is very interesting, but why is this working? We've had a lot of people, including you, get up out of bed in the morning and their pajama bottoms fall down because it's insidious. Because the fat comes off, and then suddenly you wake up in the morning and nothing fits. Your jeans fall down.
It's shocking.
We had a guy, one of our buddies in the room, his trunks fell off on the beach.
You just want to make sure that you're
so
not.
you got to be careful.
Right, wherever you are, just make sure you have a belt.
Make sure you have
But when
clean
you-
underwear, like your mother wears.
If you are in an accident,
Just have clean underwear
right,
on.
I'm like, Mom, I could care
On
less
Flush
if
Your
I'm,
Fat
if
for
I'm
Good.
bleeding and dying. I don't
Yes.
care about. But anyway, the coaching course is 7 modules, and there's an exam after each one. This is 60 combined years of knowledge, pearls of wisdom that you can't find all in one place. And if you really want to get educated and certified in this knowledge, it's a great coaching
And
course.
it's for your own benefit to make sure that you understand it and you'll be compliant and you'll master it. You'll master Flush Your Fat for Good and all the pillars.
So we get
And-
one phone call coming in,
Where
but
is
we
it?
have 1 minute.
Hold, don't go away. Hello there.
Hello,
Hello. Who is this, please? Welcome to the call.
this is Jennifer.
Oh,
Je-
hi, Jennifer.
You got 30 seconds. Tell us how, if you've had sugar
Maybe
cravings.
she has a question.
Oh, maybe
I
you
have-
do.
I have had lots of sugar cravings. I was eating a big bowl of ice cream and drinking lots of pop every day before I got started on Flush Your Fat for Good. And I just wanted to give people hope that you can get over the sugar addiction. You can give up sugar and you will feel better.
Awesome. Well, you know what? We're going to end the entire show with that. Thank you, Jennifer, for calling in and letting people know that, because it's the truth. So thanks
And
for
wait a
joining
minute.
us.
You've been on this for how many years, Jennifer?
Since 2015, April of 2015.
And you lost how many pounds? We don't do pounds, we do inches, but how many pounds?
Over 90 pounds and over 120 inches.
Hello. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
what are-
Congratulations. All right.
And I feel so much better.
Oh,
you can
you-
do it, people.
Yeah, thank you, honey.
Thank you,
look great.
Jennifer. We
too.
want to welcome all of you, thank you guys for joining
Thank
us
you, Jennifer.
today.
Good night.
And thanks for Jennifer for calling in. Until next week, thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next
We'll
week.
see
God
you
bless.
next week. Come on back.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to Flush Your Fat for Good with Jackie and Dr. Vicky, only on LA Talk Radio.